Hi, this is Chance Happening for On Watch. I'm sitting here with Brian Du Bois, who is running for Modesto City School Board. And I guess I'll start off with asking you, what's the number one problem facing Modesto City schools right now?
I think it's like the rest of the state. The number one problem is the budget. We have a ton of unfunded mandates coming from the state, and the taxpayers here in Modesto have to figure out how to pay for it.
All right, what kind of specific things going on with the budget is happening right now that could be a problem right now or later?
Well, in early spring, they solved the contract dispute with the teachers. Currently, they're working with the classified workers to solve their contract. Classified workers have been working without a contract since the spring. And it leaves the open-ended question on the budget issue. How much are they going to cost for the year? And are we going to have enough money to fund them?
Yeah, that'll put a significant, hurdle towards figuring out the budget later on, I think.
Well, it's a fixed cost. And when you don't know your fixed cost, it's really hard to decide how much money you can actually put it in the classroom.
Yeah, you got to kind of plan around it, I'd say.
Yeah, you do, and having open-ended questions with a multi-million-dollar budget is extremely hard.
Now, does any federal or state-mandated requirements that have to be taught to students, are they posing any significant problem towards the school system here?
Well, you just had Governor Brown sign in SB 48, which in my opinion is a parental rights issue. And it's a parental rights issue on no matter what side of the debate you're on. SB 48 is the bill that states that gay, lesbian, transgender, and bisexual education and their significance in history must be taught. That it's going to cause an unfunded mandate for the schools, and it's really a parental rights issue. How that is taught should come from home with that value system and their moral system. So that's going to cause a significant problem in the year to come because it's implemented in January.
It's big cost and having to rewrite the school books, not to mention the kind of question, how is it going to be taught?
Every school board is left to how do you implement it? And the new textbooks for Modesto are coming in 2014, but yet we have to start teaching this curriculum in 2012. It's also unfair to the teachers. How do you teach something that that isn't factual? It's an opinion based, it's a value based, it's a moral base. So how do you teach that in history? History should be about facts, figures, and the past. So it's going to be extremely hard on everybody.
So it'd be more about teaching it, say, as a fact that certain historical figures were gay or lesbian, and less the value judgment on whether they were gay or lesbian or not.
Well, and in my opinion, does it matter? I mean, really, there's speculation that Abraham Lincoln may have been a homosexual. Does it matter when it comes to the Emancipation Proclamation? Does it matter when it comes to the Civil War? I don't think so. It didn't define his historical significance in history. And the law actually states that you can adversely talk about a people, religion, race, creed, or somebody of a sexual orientation. Well, there's inherently good and evil. Hitler was evil. So you can say Hitler was evil, but you can't say he was an evil German. We have the 10th anniversary of September 11th coming up. So we can say 19 people knocked down the World Trade Centers, but we can't say 19 Muslims knocked down the World Trade Center because it adversely reflects on a religion. That's not history, that's distortion. The fact of the matter is that we need to get back to the basics and teach history without political agenda or personal agenda involved in the classroom.
Stanislaus County has a higher dropout rate than the national average. Like most of our averages, it's higher than everywhere else. What can we do in the county to kind of alleviate that problem?
I think a large part of that problem comes from the No Child Left Behind, which in theory and on paper is great. Why not make sure that before you move a student forward, they know what you've taught them? However, the implementation is horrible, because what we're doing is we're teaching to the middle of the class, because teachers are now evaluated on the success rate of who passes that test. So rather than teaching a curriculum to a student, we're teaching to a test, which means that the kids who need a little extra help or the kids who are extremely bright get passed by in that process. You know, if you don't challenge an intelligent student, an above average student, they're going to get bored. And if you don't engage that student who needs a little extra help, you're going to lose them. And unfortunately, you're going to lose them to most likely gangs and crimes and things of that nature. So we need to remember that every student there deserves excellence in education, not mediocrity.
All right, how can we make sure that all the schools in the Modesto City Schools district are on the same page and kind of receive the same funding, have the same standards, and just generally have the same environment as all the other ones?
Well, and I think that comes from the board. I really do. You know, you need to look at every school, what's happening in every school. You need to make sure that you're not funding a school because they did great on the test. You know, it goes back to No Child Left Behind. Yeah. If you're funding and teaching to a test, you have an issue. We need to remember that the number one priority is to give every student a great education. And you need to evaluate every dollar that goes into every school to make sure that's done.
All right. I want to thank you for coming down here.
Thank you very much.
This is Chance Happenings in here with Brian Du Bois, and thank you for watching.